Hey family, how you doing today? I'm so excited about you coming on with us. On today, we're going to have 180 Life Top Influential Women 2023. Shout out to Mr. Archie Jenkins and my executive producer, Dr. LaChonda Johnson. On this next person we're going to talk to is Miss Delcina West. Hey lady, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me? Are we good?
I can. You are excellent keynote speaker
Oh,
and coach who helps women. Miss D West, coaching and fit for life. Let's get started. Let's talk about Delcina.
all righty. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here. I have been involved in fitness and nutrition all my life, but I'm changing focus right now because I'm getting older and I want to share the benefits of getting older. So my
Right.
new focus now is speaking on the circuit about aging. And as a matter of fact, I have a new book called Sexy Senior Citizen: How to Live Sexy, Sleek, and Strong as You Age.
Oh my God. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Let's talk to some of the women.
Yes, so I know, as we get over 45, 50, a lot of us we tend to kind of put ourselves behind the back corner. We take care of everybody else, right? We're involved in our church and our community events and civic things, but then we start to not take care so much about ourselves. We forget about fitness, we forget about eating well. We don't feel that we've got that va 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 boom that we used to have when we're 20s, everything starts
Exactly.
sagging. It takes a long time to get out of bed. You're all creaky and everything hurts. And
Right.
so you can get bogged down with that, especially women. And I
Hmm.
want to try to remind women that getting older is actually a really amazing thing. You know why, Dr. Hill? Because
Right.
if you're healthy and if you're fit, you can have the best of both worlds. You can have
Yeah.
the experience from your age and you can enjoy the life you wanted to when you were 20, but now you're older, you have money and you have wisdom.
Wow. Let's go back over that. Let's say that again.
That's right. As you age, you can enjoy a great life, do the things you wish you could have done in your 20s, but now you're
Hmm.
healthy and strong and you have wisdom and experience on top of it.
Those two things together are the key, right?
That's right. That's right. Having wisdom and then having your health. Because if you don't have your health, you don't have
Yeah.
anything.
You
You
don't.
can be you can be a millionaire or whatever the case is, but if you're sick and dead and dying, it's not going to matter. So with so much technology that we have today and so many capabilities to eat better, live
Hmm.
healthier, live longer, we are actually living longer and we can make the most out of our time as we get older, as we get into menopause for women. And men actually have menopause too.
Wait a minute. We're not going to admit that. We're
Yes,
not going
you
to
do.
admit that.
Yes, you do. But this is a time to start looking positive. Our kids
Right.
are out the house. You've got maybe more time to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And, it's the time to really, really just enjoy life to the fullest. And in my book, I talk about several stories that are going through my journey in my life.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know this, but I was prior service military for 26 years.
Hmm.
And I have had my shoulder replaced, my knees replaced, my hips replaced, spinal fusion. I mean, I have had I think I'm the bionic woman. I've had so many
Exactly. I was
things
going to say.
replaced in my body. But I tell the story about those things and how I've overcome them.
Right.
And by using the techniques and eating better, exercising, I've been able to overcome those things and still enjoy a better quality of life.
Right. I think we're so scared of those things when people say, hey, we need a knee replacement or we need a hip replacement or something like that. The fear comes in is maybe I'll never walk, or I'll never be the same or something like that. Let's talk to women and men about that.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Because a lot of people don't go back to the quality of life that they had. One of the big things is because they don't really follow the doctor's instructions completely. I know a
Yes.
lot of people, especially from coaching, that they'll get a little bit better, they'll have the surgery, they'll do the initial physical therapy and don't do anything more. And then they're walking around with a limp or they don't
Yes.
have back the range of motion. But what I learned through all these surgeries is that the personal training, the physical therapy, and the eating well has to be even better than before you had the surgery, so
Wow.
that you can get back the same quality of life, if not better than before. Most people, when I tell them that I've had these things, they don't believe it. They're like, "Well, you're doing fine. You're still wearing your
Right.
3-inch heels." You know, but I use that as tackling fuel. I have seen, my expensive shoes, and I was not about to not be able to put those back on after I had my knees. So I was like, I have a reason. And
Right.
so yeah, I just try to tell people to, stay active, and you don't have to be a gym rat to do that,
Yes. I think
especially now.
I think so many people think that after that they do have to be in the gym because immediately, usually after you have a lot of these surgeries, on the day of, right when you get up, you got to start walking. You got to start moving. You got to start being, mobile.
Exactly. And people are afraid because they're in pain.
Yes.
They hurt. They don't want to hurt. It's you're in pain. But I tell you, I took every drug I could take while I was getting healed because it's coming. I'm gonna take it so I can. And because it's hard to heal when you're in pain, right? So
Yes.
it's important to take the medications that the doctors prescribe and push through that pain so you can get to
Hmm.
the other side. It's like life, isn't it?
Yes.
If you don't push through the pain, you will never know the joy that comes on the other side.
Absolutely. Let's talk about just women in general. You have been a speaker, a national speaker, speaking to women about many things and mainly now about aging. And people fear that, right?
They do. I think because, like, for myself, I was a little bit afraid when I was getting into my 50s because you have the idea of your older moms or your
Right.
older aunties, and
Yes.
they're in their rollers and their house coat and the fuzzy slippers.
Right.
You have that look. It's like, I don't want that. I don't want to be that old person.
Right.
So you have to make a conscious choice that this is the time. This is you only have today, right? So you got to
Yes.
make the most of the day that you're in order so that you can improve on the life you want later on. Women need to start looking at taking care of themselves as a necessity versus a luxury.
Hmm.
Eating good food is not a luxury. Eating good food is necessary for your body. Going
Hmm.
to get a massage is not a luxury, it's a necessity to soothe your sore muscles. Walking is not something you do whenever you have time. You have to do it so you can stay active, so you can keep moving, so your joints and your body can work. And we got to look at those kind of lifestyle choices as part of a necessary part of living the best life you can. If you sit around on your butt all day watching Netflix and eating chips and chocolate cookies, you're going to suffer the results of that, right? Which is going
Right.
to be what? You're going to be flabby, fat, out of shape, sluggish, have a headache, can't get up in the morning, can't do the things you want to do. And there's no need for that. We have the control to change that.
Absolutely. What would you like to tell the listeners? Leave with them, and also how to contact you.
Yes, so they can contact me. My website is D West Coaching, but you can also get my book on Amazon and on Barnes and Nobles. You can go and look for The Sexy Senior Citizen: How to Stay Fit, Sexy, and Strong as You Age. I've got a really great story in here about in the military. It's a great story, but it's kind of sad. It's about the shooting that happened on Fort Hood. I was involved in that, and
Wow.
how that brought me to the realization about, tomorrow's not promised, right?
Right.
So you have to live the best life you have today. And sometimes sometimes we end up in situations that are so serious, they wake you up out of your stupor or that same day type of thing that we go through. And so that situation really woke me up into you know what, I have today and I got to make the most of today, and so that I can have a better tomorrow, because it's not promised. So do what you need to do today to make the best of your life. So they can look me up on Facebook under Delcina West. I have a very unique name, so it's easy to find.
Yes.
And D West Coaching. And then, of course, look up Sexy Senior Citizen. It's a short read, but it's very entertaining. Got some comedy in there. And I know a lot of people have really enjoyed this book so far.
We appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you're doing. Tell them one more time how to get the book.
All right, you can go to Amazon.com or Barnes and Noble. Look up Sexy Senior Citizen, How to Live Sleek, Sexy, and Strong as You Age. Or you can go to my website at dwestcoaching.com.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Miss Delcina West, for all
Thank
that
you.
you
It's
do.
been great.
And this just shows why you are a top influential woman of 2023.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so
Thank you.
much. Next up, we will be talking to Lady Elizabeth Jackson Harris. Hey, lady, how you doing?
Well, how are you?
Oh, I'm so excited. Excited. Founder, CEO of Broken Vessels, her nonprofit. And shout out to her husband, Pastor West. Pastor Harris, I'm sorry. And I'm getting boggled by saying awesome message of who's keeping who. That kept me up at night because I was listening and I loved it. And I'm so excited about everything you do. Let's get started, lady. How did Broken Vessels come about?
Well, Broken Vessels actually came about because I am a domestic survivor.
Mm.
Um, Oftentimes I oftentimes I find myself being the underdog for women who are trying to pillar or push their ways through, but not even knowing my story.
Uh-huh.
Because a passion for women as well as young children. I
Mm-hmm.
just always feel and felt that someone needs to be a silent voice and to
Mm-hmm.
kind of pull them through. And so Broken Vessels is for to renew, to restore, to refresh what was broken.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of times people say, what does brokenness look like in women? They normally
Yeah.
don't look me or look like, this lady here or someone there, but we don't have a face, right?
Right. Right.
A particular, it's no particular status, there's no
Yes.
particular income, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's doctors, there's lawyers, there's CEOs or companies that are in a domestic situation,
Right.
right? Run our companies every single day.
Right.
But when home, we are faced with a monster, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's where Broken Vessels was birthed from,
Mm-hmm.
um, of my own pain and out of my
Right.
experience.
I'm so glad you're putting the face with the name of the survivorship to the survivors. I thank you because of the fact that many times um, people put labels on what it should look like, right? And there is
Absolutely.
no look like,
Mm-mm,
right? It's so many
mm-mm.
people and men involved also. Men are also
Absolutely.
uh, have been survivors of domestic violence also. And we wanted to say that all
Absolutely.
talk about that. And
Absolutely.
you're being the voice to the voiceless.
Yes. Absolutely. It's being it's that person, how they say they pull people up. It's that person that's pulling you forward. When people hear my
Mhm.
story, and
Yeah,
when I just honestly, to be quite honest, and you had said so yourself, I remember one time you said, I'm so proud of you, and I wanted to say, but you don't even know how hard it was for me to even get here. I have
right.
always been that one to be in the background cheering someone else on because I didn't feel worthy. I was
Yeah,
that one, if someone had an event or needed extra financial backing here, but don't mention my name,
right.
because I have always lived in the shadows of fear. you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
when I got into that place to where I had to break the bondage from that and shaking, truly shaking myself free. And when I realized who I am and who I'm becoming,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
when I knew that I have a voice. And
Mm-hmm.
which is so interesting, Kim, is because one thing that I'm sure you know, I have hospice facilities, and
Mm-hmm.
we have four here. Well, we're building our fourth one, and we're opening one in Arizona, and now we're opening a contract in Temple Killeen, where we're saying it's an adult abuse
Mm-hmm.
home. It's a safe haven
Yeah.
for women such like myself, or someone feeling they don't have anywhere to go. So when that phone
Mm-hmm.
call comes in the middle of the night, I can say, take her to XYZ address
Right.
so that she and her small children will be safe.
Absolutely. I want to also let's educate people on some things. People say, "Oh, well, go to a shelter." That's not always true because you may have a son that's older that can't come to a women's shelter. You may have pets that you're trying to bring with you that can't come to the shelter. You may not be able to escape from the person as easily as people think. People just say, "Oh, just leave." That's not at all.
No, and you're absolutely correct. Um, we all, it's so easy to say leave. It is
Hmm.
so easy to say, then apparently you must like it, right?
Oh
Or
yeah.
apparently, you know, you're weak in the mind. How could you, a CEO of a company? Well, I wasn't a CEO of a company then, right?
Hmm.
So
Right.
how is it that you can allow someone that looks like you, talk like you, have a pillar in the community, is
Hmm.
allowing something to happen so horribly? But what
Hmm.
happens is that the perpetrator, the person that is hurting you, has you in so much fear that
Right.
you believe it. You
Hmm.
believe that they will hurt you. You
Yeah.
believe that they will hurt your children.
Hmm.
Whatever attack or
Yeah.
whatever they say they're going to do, you believe it because why? It's because you live it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that you don't know what the limitation of the hurt of the person. My ex-husband told me, I love you to death,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And when
Hmm.
he said that, he meant that.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, there was times that, you know, and you talk about with children, you have to move very strategically, and you
Yeah.
must make plans. You
Hmm.
can't just say, I'm gathering my things and let's leave. Or even if someone wants to help you, must understand that you're dealing with someone who is emotionally damaged, just trying to hurt you,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
you must move very strategically when you're
Yeah.
trying to save your children,
Yeah.
save yourself, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Shelters are there. There are several other places that that are available, but what happens when they're full?
Yeah. Yeah. Or when they find
What
you.
hap- I'm sorry.
Or when they find you.
Oh, when they find you.
Yeah.
When they find you. So one of the things that I can honestly say is such a passion for myself, and this is where Clarissa's Care has was born out of being broken. And
Hmm.
Clarissa Care is my hospice and my personal luxury care home facilities.
Hmm.
Because there was a lady that was in my complex who was an older lady that was actually getting abused by her children.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I didn't have a place for her, but I opened my door for a complete stranger just to have a safe place because I too was abused. And so my senior living facilities, although they're not for women who are being abused, but a lot of our moms are being forgotten, Cam. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them are sent to some of these high, nice apartments in the sky, like Georgia, moving on up.
Mm-hmm.
But they're being forgotten by their families. So we
Mm-hmm.
created Clarissa Care Environment for moms who wants to have their last year, golden years,
Mm-hmm.
with other women living out their best life. So all of my homes, although they're called Clarissa's Care, we market them as the Golden Girls themes.
Absolutely. Good, good, good. I'm so glad you're talking about that. Let's
Mhm.
give people locations and things where they can get information. Let's talk to people.
Okay, well, we are now in our fifth year. We are located here in the Houston area, as well as in the Galleria area. We're in the Memorial area, and coming year 2024, we will
Mhm.
be in a 18-room facility in Temple Clean.
Good.
Um, we're going to have our ribbon cutting, which I'm so excited, Cam, which is in the Galleria area.
Yes.
That's our fourth location. It's called the Red Door, and it would be for senior women who are wanting to live out their best lives, but they want to still have that golden girl kind of lifestyle where they're not living alone. So I'm
Right.
really excited about it. And we have our triage area that'll be built inside of the homes.
Mhm.
And we'll have one respite room available for that emergency phone call. I
Mhm.
need help for
Mhm.
XYZ. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Absolutely. Let's talk about let's what would you like to leave with the listeners, and also how to get in touch with you or your facilities or someone to help with hospice as well as domestic violence.
Thank you. Well, how you can get a hold of me is that if you go online, which is www.clarissascare.com, and when you click down, click on luxury senior living. There you will find my contact information as well as my email. I don't have anything a secret because I lived in the darkness for so long.
Yeah.
And I want someone to be able to reach me 24/7. So if
Mhm.
someone calls and I need help for mom, you send a text, it immediately comes to my phone. It's not an answering service, it's not a waiting system. I literally am up taking calls, calling, praying, finding places until I'm able to get to whoever is needing my assistance. So as far as contacting me, you can contact me there, or I can leave my number.
Absolutely. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Miss Lady Elizabeth Jackson Harris. We appreciate you so much for everything you do. We appreciate you for
Thank,
being transparent
thank
and
you.
being that vessel for so many others, that and giving that voice to the voiceless. We thank you for the opportunity. We thank you for everything you're doing. It shows. That's why you're 180 Life top influential woman of 2023.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, and thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Up next, we have Dr. Lynette Reddix. Hey, lady, how you doing?
Hey, Kim. I'm doing wonderful. It's great to see you and great to be on your show.
Sounds good. Sounds good. CEO and founder of No Sister Left Behind, activist, community leader, and business consultant. Lady, you do it all.
And then some.
Exactly. Let's talk about No Sister Left Behind. You had an outstanding event recently.
Yes, we were able to put together it's been on my heart to work
Yeah.
with nonprofits and support them because I started off small in 2013 with No Sisters Left Behind. And I started looking at, everybody's doing awards for a lot of people, but the nonprofit always get left behind. And
Mhm.
so, and especially our kids. So we came together and decided to do the Nonprofit Youth Philanthropy Awards. It was such an amazing task to do because we was able to find young people in the community that were entrepreneurs in their own right. They were,
Mhm.
founders of nonprofits or organizations that was working for kids, or even facilities, commissioners and different people of those statues that create opportunities for young people. I wanted to be able to say, we see you, and we wanted to honor you for your works that you're doing in the community. And it was so outstanding and such a blessing to get back.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's start off and talk about the fact, Dr. Reddix, you are an activist, period. If somebody says, Dr. Reddix, we're fighting this fight, I've seen you several times being on that front line. Why so?
I believe it's my calling, and I, and I'm glad you're talking about this right now, because even up until last night, I was at an event. I went to support Japala. She's running for judge, just of the peace, and I went to support her. And going to my car, I was stopped, and I call everything a God thing. It's not about Lynette; it's all about Him. And when He moves and shifts us, there was a person there, and I was joking going to my car, and I said, "Hey, why are you running the car? It's this sports car here, and you sitting here." And he was sitting there when I left to go inside, and he was still sitting there. And next thing you know, we get to talking, and he's telling me his story about, being a single father and trying to get his son, and letting me know that he hadn't seen his son. And I immediately just stopped in my tracks, and we end up talking for like hours. And long story short, he hadn't seen his son since August. I was at that school today. Do you hear me? Wow. He walked out of that building with his son because it was his visitation day and his rights to have his son for the weekend. So I always say, God put us in places where we don't even know that's what He's doing. But as you think about it and you move, and He just took my life and said, hey, this is what you're going to do. This is your calling. I have to follow His purpose for my life.
Sounds
it's not
good.
About me. It's about our people.
Absolutely. You have great assignments that you've been doing, an activist just on the front line, like I said, of so many things. If it's not political, it's for nonprofits and others. You have an MLK parade that's coming up next year.
Yes, I am the gala chair for the MLK parade, you guys.
Yeah.
In the Lifetime Achievement Awards. I'm so excited about that. I mean, wearing those different hats is amazing to me, because I get to work with people in their nonprofits and help them get them to the next level. And this is the 30th year for the MLK parade. And the gala is just an added addition to what in store to come for many, many years. And I want everybody to come out and support Mr. Stamps and the parade, the gala, and everything that's going on with that. It's just a blessing to see us doing good work and coming together, because a lot of things that we do, it's always in fundraising. What people got to understand, when nonprofits are having events, it's the fundraise for a cause. Even with mine, it's fundraising for scholarships for our youth going back to college. This same thing with the stamps, with the gala, upcoming gala, those money goes into programming. So when you're doing stuff like that, it's not like, oh, let's raise the money and it's everybody's pocket. No, it's for a cause. It's for a project. It's for a program that's going to gear that foundation to its next heights.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad people in the community.
I'm so glad you said that, because Martin Luther King stood for that. And that's what he was, that's what he embodied.
Yes, absolutely. And sometimes I feel like I'm the female version of Martin, because I'm always out there on the front line.
Yes.
I'm always on the front line. I'm like, why me, Lord? Why I'm by myself doing this? But no, He said, no, this is what I got you on, and you're going to do it. And He always send the right people, Kim. I have to praise Him, because He really do send the right people to help. So I'm not out there alone. I mean, I had a great team of great people. Many, many people came out to support the gala and the things that we was doing for the kids. And the same thing coming up with the upcoming event in MLK is people jumping on board. They finding out who's on the team and what's going on. And they willing to, when they see you in the community and they see me, people already know, Lynette, if I'm on the team, I'm on there for a purpose. Let's rock it, let's make it happen. And that's what, even in business, I owned a couple of clinics for mental health, just thinking about, what Liz was just speaking on in helping our community. My life has been 30 plus years in healthcare. A lot of people don't know me as that because I was always behind the scenes. When I
Yes.
was in the hospitals, when I owned my company, I wasn't flashy out there saying, "Oh, I'm this owner and I'm for mental health and I own this mental health clinic," because it wasn't about that. It was about let's save our community. We have to have great mental health. Mental health for our well-being is great for our community, and if we don't focus on those things, that's gonna, help our community. Then we're gonna be left behind. So
Let's talk a little bit about that. I don't think people really know or really aware or say it, right? They're aware, but the word mental health in our community is still not something that we all talk about, and we should.
We should definitely talk about mental health and mental well-being because it's important. My dad is a veteran. So the reason why I started my practice is because I knew my dad had PTSD, but I was too young to understand it. I knew something was off, some periods. And so nobody want to talk about in our community, oh, this person, some things are going on. Even,
Right.
with my mom, they never would say, well, your dad, I knew he served and I knew he fought for our country, but did I understand those links and those levels, what depression and PTSD, what all that stood for? No, but I had to do research and go to school. And I'm like, well, if I'm going through this, somebody else family is going through this. Why aren't anybody talking about this? And I found in my practice that a lot of us won't show up or won't support the people that are dealing with mental health or bipolar or schizophrenia because they just see it as, well, he's going to be okay. But then the moment something happened, and you go from one to a high level, high risk person where you have to be confined, then it becomes, oh, there's a problem. I need your help. Well, we need it right now because we work with suicide preventions and just, array of services that people are not just owning, even for them within themselves, and I just think as a community, we got to have the whole community involved in mental health and mental health well-being because even people you see going to work, I've had several people, they worked at large corporations, they worked as a lawyer or a doctor, they break down. We all are human. We all have our breaking points. You have, we in Texas, so of course we have had a lot of explosive things happen. So the BP exposure and all that stuff, there when things happen and people die, that's trauma. So when trauma exists, how do we heal from that? And who do we seek out? So we have to own it.
I think the other thing too is that we just don't know where to go. A lot of people say, okay, something's real off with a husband, wife, uncle, or something, but we don't want to bring it to their attention because they may go off or something like that. But then we don't know what to do. Let's give some information about that.
Yeah, there's national organizations. You can definitely go to my page. I have Rosenberg CMHC. It's on Facebook. You can also go to my website, www.NoSisterLeftBehindFoundation.org. You can reach out to myself, Lynette Reddix. You can go to the Dr. Lynette Reddix page as well. Guys, let's connect. Let's talk about it. Let's get your family to help.
Absolutely.
Let's get you the resources.
Absolutely. Let's talk about, I know in 2013, right? No Sister Left Behind. Why so that name?
Oh gosh, I love that name. I was hungry. I say hungry because I had just started my practice in 2012, and so here it is 1 year later. I'm starting No Sister Left Behind. I felt alone. I felt by myself. I feel like, even my friends, my family, I had no support. And I didn't want that for anybody else. I didn't want other people, other women, other people that were starting their businesses or, within the foundation we created, women supporting women, whether or not if you're an entrepreneur or individual, whether or not you were someone that was going through a transitional situation. We've done placement. I was able to get a 21 unit facility where we place women and their children in facilities, and give out resources to women. If you're struggling to even get a grant, how to get there, how to open up a nonprofit. What do you do? What do nonprofits stand for? I didn't want to leave anybody behind. I
Mhm.
wanted to be able to serve. And I feel like that was my purpose. And I created a nonprofit to serve. And that's what I'm doing.
Wow.
That's my
I love,
legacy.
I love that. I love exactly what you're doing. Let's do this. What would you like to leave with the listeners, and how do they get in touch with you?
Okay. You guys, I want you to think about this is a holiday season. It's always very stressful. When you think about our mental health, our mental well-being, just close your eyes, say a prayer, and get try to get through it. And if you know that you can on your own, seek some professional assistance. Don't be too, I would say proud. We're a proud community. Let's not be so proud to say, I need help, because you got somebody that want to hold your hand and help you through that help. So just reach out. And for me, my contact is 832-488-8347. I don't mind giving out my number because it's on my website. Again, it's www.nosisterleftbehindfoundation.org. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. The same thing. Well, on Instagram is L_Reddix23. And on Facebook is Lynette Reddix. So I look forward to being a 180 life 23 influential woman. This is such an amazing, amazing magazine. I'm so proud of him, Archie. Mr. Archie, we love you. We appreciate you. And we thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lynette Reddix, 180 Life Top Influential Woman of 2023. You embody that, lady. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Talk to you. Next up, Miss Takia Scott. Hey, lady, how you doing?
Hi, Mr. Cam. How are you doing this evening?
How you doing? How you doing? Owner of Sophisticated Images.
Yes, it's good to sit with you finally.
I know, I know, I know. Let's get started. Founder and CEO. I love this story and I want the world to hear it. How did you come up with Sophisticated Images?
Gosh, it channels back to basically dealing with women, children, anybody who deals with hair loss is
Mhm.
always, I would say basically it can down your self-esteem, your
Yes,
confidence. So it was actually just helping people to be able to rebuild that confidence when they're dealing with hair loss.
that message and that statement that you have for hair loss. We don't talk about it, especially women. This is their crown, and I
This
know
is their crown.
you've had so many come to you and speak to you about it of the loss. And you, lady, embody the fact that you nurture, you tell them it's okay, and you get them to a point where they understand and you grow their hair.
Definitely. And actually, I'll take that last statement back. When somebody is dealing with the autoimmune disease alopecia,
Yes.
their hair isn't coming back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's where they come to me and they get the hairstyle that they always dreamed of
Uh-huh.
that allows them to walk in a room differently with their crown and with their head held high.
Absolutely.
So
And
that's
then
the
you give back
difference.
to nonprofits.
Yes, definitely. All the time. All the time.
And
All the time.
let's
Go
talk about
ahead.
the ladies that like you said, alopecia.
It's
And
so many. It's not just ladies. Actually, men deal with alopecia. It's called male pattern baldness.
Mhm.
It's popular, but people don't put it in the form of men dealing with it as well. So I
Mhm.
do deal with men who have hair loss also, but women tend to seek out help more.
Mhm. 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 And let's talk about that and why.
Why? Because I would want to channel it back to society.
Mhm. Mhm.
Women can walk in a room, I call it bold, bald, and beautiful. Because you
Mhm.
do have women that will walk in a room bold, bald, and beautiful. But then you have some women that it's a journey.
Yeah.
Hair loss is a journey. Some
Yeah.
women are born with hair and they end up losing it over a period of time. So it's a journey. So if they're not to that point in their journey, then it's always help.
Absolutely. I love that. And then we have women that are and children going through cancer treatments,
Cancer.
chemotherapy, radiation.
Exactly. So that in itself is hair loss, but it's usually temporary hair loss. So with anybody who does have temporary hair loss, they have a different kind of hair unit that's constructed. And that's
Mhm.
going into a whole lot of detail of what I do, Kim. But
Let's talk. We want them to know. We want to know what a unit is. I
what a
just
hair
learned from
unit
you.
is. Well, a hair unit is basically that's the foundation of a wig. Some people could put it in the form of a wig, but a hair unit is way different.
Mhm.
I think I always say people say the word wig and think of your grandmother wig. Wigs don't look like that no more. So they call hair units.
And how do so going into that a hair unit, and many, like you said, people think of it as wig, but the difference, what is the difference in what their thought process is?
Like I said, it's as simple as that. Some people you can look at and say they got a wig on, and you can point it out. A hair unit, you would be like, I can't believe that's not their hair.
Wow. Wow. And the length of time that they can wear it, the maintenance
The
things, and
maintenance, the
mhm.
the length of time is usually anywhere from a year to 3 years for one hair unit.
Wow.
One hair unit, the maintenance is usually once a month,
Hmm.
and that's if the hair unit is a hair down on the head. So if
Mm,
you have permanent hair loss, one, first you want to get it cleared with your doctor, your dermatologist, and let them know that it's stated that you have permanent hair loss. If you don't have permanent hair loss, don't go that route. That's why anyone dealing with cancer, anyone dealing with temporary hair loss, they have a different hair unit that's constructed.
mm. Okay. Okay. And it's an investment.
Definitely. It's an investment, but when I tell you from every day in my salon, the experiences that I have with women when they do have a hair unit that they feel good about, money can't even buy that kind of happiness.
And that's what I mean by the investment. It's an investment in
Hmm.
yourself. It's an investment in
Definitely.
your look. It's an investment in you could not get uh, the look that you give on a consistent basis as you do because you nurture that person and that hair for the person.
Definitely. Definitely.
So when a
So
person,
it's always a blessing for me. I tell
mhm.
people they come to me to get blessed, but they bless me in the end.
Wow, that's something. That's something. And after let's in talking about the unit in itself, can someone come to you and get more than one?
Definitely.
The styles.
Most of the time, women are interchanging their hair units.
Right.
Meaning, like if one is being serviced, they have one on their head. So
Hmm.
it's usually, I would say, on average, most women have at least three to four.
That's good. That's good. And these
Mhm.
all of these usually last, like you said, a year.
Usually over a year. If it's a
Hmm.
glueless unit that you can take off and on, that's a glueless unit. You can take it off and on every night. Those are
Hmm.
definitely going to last you a whole lot longer. But for
Hmm.
anybody who has permanent hair loss and they actually want a hair unit, a hair down, then you're wearing it every day, every night. So it's going to be a different time period on how long it lasts.
Absolutely. Let's talk to people about when they come to you. What's the initial conversation that you may have with them?
The initial conversation is going to be pretty much either a FaceTime consultation or in-person consultation. It usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and information is gathered for what type of lifestyle they live. What type
Hmm.
of hair loss do they have? It goes into a whole lot of details as far as being customized just for that person. Secondly, they come in and I tell them they get their hair unit installed. Thirdly, you go collect your compliments.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's do this. Let's leave something with the listeners. What would you like to leave with the listeners and how to contact you?
Okay, well, I'll start with how to contact me. Sophisticated Image, everything sophisticatedimages.com, Sophisticated Images, Instagram, Sophisticated Images, LinkedIn, Sophisticated Images. You can find me there. I'm Takia Scott, owner and founder of Sophisticated Image, where our main thing is to rebuild confidence through hair replacement. The last thing I would want to leave anybody with is basically don't let anything that you feel hinders you from shining your light to the world. Don't let, especially hair loss, don't let that hinder you from walking in a room with your hair held high.
Absolutely. Thank you, lady, for everything you're
You,
doing.
thank you,
You
thank
have
you,
really blessed Houston. I know a lot of
thank you,
people you have blessed over the years, over the time period. Thank you for your vision and
thank
going
you,
through it.
thank
Thank you
you.
for
It's always a
everything.
joy connecting with you,
I
always.
appreciate you so much, lady. Thank you. And that's why you're a 180 Life top influential woman of 2023. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you do. Mr. Archie Jenkins, what are we doing next? Let's see all the ladies. Let's talk to them a little bit. Miss Rashawn Lewis. Hey, lady, how you doing? That's who's up next. CEO and founder of Phenomenal Women Empowerment Organization. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. How did we come up with the organization and why so?
Well, Phenomenal Women was founded in 2009, and basically when we did start Phenomenal Women, it was just to get women together because I really hated the stigma of women can't get together and be a positive force within, us all. So with that being said, I started in 2009, but we started getting the community doing different things, and so I ended up stopping it due to personal reasons, but I kept on getting calls like, okay, what's up? We need this back. We need this support. We
Yeah.
need the support. So then, actually in 2019, we became a nonprofit. We do a lot of things within the community. We help it with the homeless. We're doing scholarships for high school students. We
Mhm.
always do every year. We do prom. We're picking young ladies who can't afford to do prom, so we go out and we get their dresses, get their hair done, hair done, their shoes, their accessories, their makeup
Mhm.
done, things of that nature. So that's a lot how we started, and we have a right now our organization has about 25 women, um, and within, even though we go outside to do a lot, we try to build each other up in the inside as far as financially educating each one on financial credit. We want to make
Mhm.
sure our foundation is in a spot to be able to help everybody outside. So we focus on a lot of just strengthening each other.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Empowerment is a huge thing for you, lady. I've seen, I've read, and I know that to empower each other. Why
Yes.
so?
I think basically from my background and what I've been through in life, I've used a lot of my pain and trials and tribulations that I've gone through, and it's built me to be the person that I am. And for some reason, I always seem to attract those same type of people.
Mhm.
My heart is really big, and I just feel like everybody deserves a second chance. And with that being said, we have to empower each other because and everyone on the outside so we can make our families empowered. So that's a big
Mhm.
big thing for me. Family is very important to me. So I think that when we empower on the outside and we start with our women, we're going to pull everybody else in, to
Mhm.
bring the family closer together. And that's a lot. That seems like that's a big thing nowadays. We got to learn how to empower each other more.
We really, really do. And break generational curses.
That's so true. So true. So true. That's so true. Yes.
And you mentioned one thing, homelessness. And
Mhm.
homelessness is not always on the street. Many times someone can be living on someone's couch or staying
That's
with a family member or staying with whomever, but they personally do not have their own home.
correct. Yes, and that's the thing. We want to make those people who are who are in those situations, help them get out of that situation. That's part of what
Mhm.
Phenomenal was about. We get calls on our 800 number all the time about women are called and saying, they just moved to Houston and
Yes.
they were trying to come look for work. It didn't pan out. So they're needing help with a hotel room or trying to look for work or trying to look for shelter. And when they call us, we're there and we're trying to help them. They might just want something to eat. And
Mhm.
we're able to, with our fundraising and everything, we're able to at least get them something to eat, maybe a room for a couple of nights. And sometimes it's women with kids, sometimes it's not. So that's why we want to be able to, give them the resources, help them look for a job, refer them someone that to someone's hiring. That's a big thing that we're trying to make sure that we have.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because a lot of people don't see or know. They just take for granted, I think, that they are walking in their house, they go home, they go to
Mm.
the refrigerator, they, life, but they don't realize that it's not always someone outdoors,
Yes,
you
it,
know?
it can be someone that literally, like you said, they're living from house to house. I've been there before. So with that being said, I know what it's like. So I have to be, we have to be those people to show that it's a way out, but you have to
Yes.
give them a reason, to want to do it.
Mhm.
So, again, that's what the basis of what Phenomenal is. And we want to be able to, like, some of the things that we want to do is be able to, like, in the summertime, kids who are uh not in school. A lot of times, those are the only times that they eat when they're in school. So we want to be able to have a building for these kids to be able to come and eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner during the summertime, because you don't know, they might not have anything to eat
Mhm.
during those times. So and then we also had a lady that called the other day, and she just wanted to know if it was any 24-hour food pantries. And I just really sat and was
Mm.
like, wow, that's something that I really want Phenomenal to be able to do. It may not, even if it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner that we can do on a 24-hour basis, and maybe something in a sack lunch after hours. I just think that's
Mhm.
very important because, we have people where they go out and feed people just on Christmas and Thanksgiving. You go out
Right.
and feed the homeless. They're hungry every day of the week,
Mhm.
so again, I want Phenomenal. We want Phenomenal to be that foundation, and that's what we're working towards.
Sounds good, lady. What would you like for the listeners to know and how do they contact you?
I just want, not necessarily just women, families to know, no matter where you've been, or the trials and tribulations you've been through. I don't care if you've been to jail or whatever, whatever it may be, on drugs, whatever, there's always an outlet, and you can always make a way to get out of those situations. And you know be that person to empower each other all the time. If we continue to empower each other, you'll be shocked at what we could do, in the world, period. As far as how you can reach me, we have our website is www.phenomwmn.com, and you can reach us and reach out to us at any time through our website.
Sounds good. Ladies, come back and let's see. Let's talk to each one of you. Great, great, great. Sounds good. Let's start off with Lady Elizabeth Jackson, what would you like to leave with the listeners again and your contact?
You are not in this alone. There is so much out here that we can help. As you heard, there's so many amazing women that is on the panel that is pulling one another up. And so, as I believe it was Lynette was saying, that no one is left behind. So I think that take the information that you are hearing on tonight, gather up what is applied towards you or someone that you know, so that you know that someone here that generally cares for you and want the best for you.
That sounds good. And how to contact you?
You can contact me again on my Facebook page, which we're actually in the process of revamping, but you can contact me on my Facebook, which is Elizabeth Jackson Harris, or you can go online and put up Clarissa's Care Luxury Care Homes, and it'll come straight up.
Sounds good. Dr. Lynette Reddix, what would you like to leave again with the listeners and how to contact you?
Hey, listeners, listen. As a sisterhood in our community, we don't we have to complete each other. We don't compete.
That's
You see
right.
all these women here on this platform. We all about sisterhood. We all about supporting one another. Some of us we never met before, but I'm just listening to a lot of their stories and what they're doing, and I'm already saying, "Oh, I want to do this. I want to help to do that," because when we shine the light for each other, guess what? It's a ripple effect. And we have to
Mhm.
continue to build on positivity, not leave the negativity things alone. When you see us in the street, say hello, come up to us. We're very easily accessible. I forgot to give you guys my nonprofit page on Facebook. It's No Sister Left Behind Inc. My direct page is Lynette Reddix. You can follow me on Instagram, L_Reddix. And I also have a No Sister Left Behind Foundation on Instagram as well. So connect with us, get engaged with our organizations, support our organizations, and help us support our communities. That's what we
Amen.
need.
Sounds
And
good.
hey,
Mr.
we
Takia
are the
Scott.
top influential women.
Yes, you are. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ms. Takia Scott, what would you like to leave again with the listeners and contact?
I'll start with my contact. Again, I'm Takia Scott, owner and founder of Sophisticated Images, where we rebuild confidence through hair replacement. You can find me at my website, sophisticatedimages.com, Instagram, sophisticatedimages.com, not .com, but Sophisticated Images, but all over the place, Sophisticated Images. What I wanted to leave with all the ladies I love sharing panels with anybody who is basically building generational wealth. If we cross market and work together, when I tell you the multitude of wealth that we can build together culturally, we can all in some form of fashion grow from each other. So basically what I would want to leave with anybody who's listening to our panel as we talk, work together. When you work together, when I tell you it's a multitude that can come out of that. So I know I'm always partnering with somebody on some level, and it's not just about self. It's never just about self. So
Mhm.
I enjoy again talking with every last one of you on the panel. I can't wait to meet y'all in person, give big hugs and give love.
We appreciate you so much. That's Mr. Kia Scott. Miss Rashawn Lewis, again, we just spoke with you. What would you like again to leave with those listeners? And again, the contact.
My contact is www.phenomwmn.com. And I just want to again say, continue. Everybody could just continue to empower one another. If we continue to do that, I think a lot of people need to really look up the definition of empower.
Amen.
It's a really powerful word, and if we look it up and really, stay steadfast on that word and think of that word on a daily basis, we can really make a difference.
It's so true.
That's absolutely phenomenal. These are the ladies for 180 Life Top Influential Women 2023. Congratulations. You all embody it. You all deserve it. Truly well deserved. Much love to you. And Archie Jenkins, King, you have done it. Top Influential Women. You can get a pre-order for the magazine, and also find out about the events that are coming up. We appreciate you, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
night.
Bye-bye. Good night. 180 Life. Talk to you soon. We appreciate you so much. That's 180 Life Top Influential Women 2023. Mr. Archie Jenkins. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Cam Hill on the Cam Hill Show. Bye.
Program.